Welcome to Horsefly Chronicles Radio with Julia and Philip Siracusa. Sponsored by Carnation. Airing live on United Public Radio Network on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. This show's opening has been produced, edited, narrated by Gwen Luckett at gluckett.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horsefly Chronicles Radio with myself, Julia Siracusa, and Phil Siracusa. We're broadcasting live from the United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM and 107.7 FM from New Orleans. We're fully sponsored by Carnation, so we want to thank them for their sponsorship. We love them. You'll have to do a few things in order to participate in chat. Go to our YouTube page, UFO Paranormal Radio. Go to all of our Facebook stations, UFO Paranormal Network, UFO Undercover with Joe Montaldo, News on the Flip Side, Horsefly Chronicles Radio. And if you have any questions for our guests, please ask. Also, we're on SoundCloud, Podbean, Twitch, all of those platforms. So guys, we had a cancellation today, so filling in, we have two amazing guests. Please welcome to the show, psychic medium Mary LaFrancesca and Sean Kelly. He is a paranormal investigator. He is a host on our network. Thanks guys for filling in today. We are going to have a fun open mic show. Am I echoing?
No, not at all. You just got that wonderful accent from New Jersey, from Philadelphia.
She does not have a New Jersey accent. She's a Staten Island accent.
I mean, we can never get away from it.
Well, Mary, real quick, I just want to say that me, Julia, and Phil, we're the Pennsylvania connection on UPRN Talk Radio, buddy. Yes, we are. Yes,
Absolutely.
we are.
Absolutely.
I just have to learn my accent, you know. So
well, thank you for including me.
You know what happens when you start hanging out with people that have accents? Don't you feel like you start talking like them?
I was in the South for 10 years and I started saying y'all. And then I came back to New York and I'm like, I had to stop myself because they probably would have punched me in the face for saying it. So,
well, what do you say besides you all? What do you say where you live?
Y'all.
Really? No, here in Pittsburgh, we're Yinzers. Okay, we say yins. Why?
Yins.
Yeah, yins. Yeah, absolutely. It's the only place in the United States that actually say yins.
Wow.
We have our own vocabulary too. Just Google it, you know, Pittsburghese, and you'll see all. You have to look at it. It just blow you away.
Every time I go back to Staten Island, I feel like the accent, I kind of lost it, but I didn't lose it. And then when I go back, it's like it comes right back real fast.
Now, you know what it is, Julia? When you're around our people, it comes right back out.
Oh, our people. Sorry,
Sean.
Our people. Okay.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
It is true. This is going to be a fun show. So if anybody, I want you guys just to introduce yourself a little tiny bit, just for any listeners that may not know you. Give us a little bit about yourselves. We have to
go ahead, Mary. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, I'm Mary LaFrancesca. I'm from Staten Island, New York, and I'm a psychic medium. I'm able to communicate with the dead. And you know, I'm also an empath where I pick up on a lot of things. And Phil and I go back to grammar school, which is crazy.
Yes.
And we all happen to connect on the same thing that we have in common.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Was
So,
that year 1974, 75 when you guys were
70.
at school?
Why are you aging me? No, I'm just kidding. we went to Holy Rosary, right, Phil?
Yeah, I think that
So
was like
So like I
70s,
can't remember
yeah.
back that long ago.
yeah, way back when.
Okay.
So, but also I grew up in an extremely haunted house, and it was actually like documented in I don't know if it was like Strange Things from Staten Island or Most Haunted Places in Staten Island, but the house that I grew up in was crazy haunted.
Mhm.
Wow.
And it was, I mean, like I would hear like, voices that were what I thought was a Jamaican accent. And then I found out, and they would all call me Maria. But what I found out later was that they had slaves there, from the islands. It was just a crazy history altogether. And then, when I was a kid, it scared me, but my father really encouraged my gift. He thought that I had an amazing gift and that I should share it. And so, at a young age, it kind of scared me. But then I learned how to, I don't know if I want to say control it, maybe. Because if you hear voices all the time, you think you're schizophrenic or you got a brain tumor. So you have to learn to control it. And then you also have to, have it on your own terms.
Yes.
Because people can't be talking to you 24/7.
No.
So you have to learn to control it and say, not now, set boundaries and limitations. So I learned to do that.
Yeah, you have to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Mary. My name is Sean Kelly, and I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you're looking at the Pennsylvania connection of UPRN Talk Radio.
Yes.
Okay. I have been in the paranormal field for over 30 years, back 1983. I won't get into the story, but that's when I actually started with the paranormal. I formed the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society in 2006, and I actually retired the group last November in 2022. I am a host on the show Into the Night. I'm on 2 nights, Sunday nights and Tuesday nights. Instead of doing a 2-hour show, I'm doing 2 1-hour shows. So I will be on Sunday nights from 8 to 9 and Tuesday nights from 8 to 9. So that's about it.
You have a great show.
Thank you.
Oh, Sean, I read a little bit about you, and I think your history is very interesting.
Thank you.
And he has investigated over 1,000 locations.
Yes.
Well, what I think is very interesting about the stuff that you've done is that you keep an open mind.
Yes, you have to in this business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought a great subject for us to talk about tonight was shadow people.
Yes. Yes.
Because I think that I believe that everybody has the ability to see, but they choose not to for whatever reason. Either it's scary or maybe there's a side of the brain that they don't use. But I think we've all seen shadow people, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For me, the first time that I encountered them, I always thought that they were, a demonic presence, almost like a shroud.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a reading for a woman, I guess it was like 2 weeks ago, and her husband just recently passed. And I saw him. See, when I do readings for people, I see people behind them, but I usually see them in full form. So their face, you understand what I'm saying? As they are. But this time I did not. He was like a shroud, dark. But I didn't think it was a dark presence. So that was like the first time that I've ever encountered that. And I think the reason was because he recently passed, or he thought that my presence there was to make him go away from the house that he was in. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure
So that was like eye-opening to me, because I was like, you can show yourself to me. He was hiding. So I think that maybe I was wrong about that. Do you know what I mean? Because it was the first time I've ever encountered.
Yeah, there's so many. It's a very interesting subject because we really don't know what they are. I mean, are they evil? Or let's see, some believe they can be classified into different types of beings, such as aliens, demons, disembodied people, or animals, or human-shaped shadow people. They also peek from around a corner sometimes, which is kind of that's the weird part. That ever see that's weird. Like, if you see them peeking behind the corner.
Right.
But I think that what I've learned is that there are people that are past that are afraid to show themselves also.
Yeah.
So it's a shroud.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of agree with you there, Mary, just a tad, but I have a different opinion on it. Okay, if you look at it, right, I imagine it, look at it as, okay, there's a line, a straight line, like the equator, okay? And half side is their side, and the other half is our side, okay?
Right.
And I believe that when you see a shadow person or a shadow figure, whatever, okay, it's actually reflecting. You know how you can make shadows with your hands and stuff like that? I believe tremendously that they're walking that straight line. What I really do not like about shadow people, because everybody that really don't know what's going on, they think they're evil. You know what I mean? Like it's a demon.
Well, that's what I thought until recently.
Right. But there's a lot of people, and it gets me mad because I just want to go through the computer and shake their head like a little bit like this. It's like, no, they're not all evil. They're okay. It's just where they are standing at the present time, and that's the way I look at shadow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And like I said, I used to believe that until this recent reading that I did, and then I realized that he was shot himself. He wanted to stay close to his family because it was a sudden passing. As we all know, when people pass before the time when they're not ready, they can stay in a place where, and I don't think this particular presence was one that didn't know he died. He was just mad that he did the way he did.
Yeah.
And he still wanted to be a protector of his family, his wife, his family. And if they saw him, I think he thought they would feel fear. And when she brought me in, I think that he felt he had to hide himself from me because he thought I was going to force him to cross over.
Okay.
He wasn't ready to do that yet because he felt like he still had to be with his family.
Right.
There were so many things we don't know. Let's face it.
I was just gonna say that because the whole, you just said the whole time that you always thought of them as being,
Yeah,
evil.
anytime I saw like a shrouded or dark presence, it was never a good thing, but not this time. So it really changed my mind on the whole subject.
Yeah. Phil, what is your opinion on that?
From my opinion, knowledge, and having over 52 paranormal teams here at the house, this is what my conclusion is. That there are many types of shadow people. Now, some may be good, correct, and some may be malevolent, because when the teams come here in the basement, we all notice that after the equipment's running for a while, through the back wall, there's one wall in the basement where about an hour or two in, when all the energy is being put out, we start to see these shadowy figures on the wall. And when that happens, the equipment goes crazy, like the REM pods, K2 meters, and then we start getting threats through like voice recordings that they're using. We're being threatened, and then someone is attacked. Now,
I can attest to that because it happened to me when I went to your house.
Both of you make sense, and you're right. I really try to understand this because, Mary, you were at my home, Now, when there's an investigation in the basement, I'm the first person. Then all of a sudden, all the team members are like, whoa, what is that? And then things get bad, really bad. And what we do know about shadow people, again, there could be different types. Maybe it's just how we're viewing it as a shadow, right? But they're very intelligent because they're telling us things through recordings that are going to happen about a minute before it happens.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
one time there was a seasoned paranormal investigator here, and it's texting him on his cell phone, which is impossible. Impossible.
That's crazy.
It's
Well-
impossible.
Well, Sean, I don't know if you know that I went to Phil and Julia's house,
I did not know that.
and I'll, the one thing that I'll tell you then, it was crazy. Even before I went there, there was a shadowy figure that I believe is trying to scare me from even going there in the first place. Right,
Okay.
Phil?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
trying to not. I was living in Florida at the time. I rented a car, and I'm going there, and it was trying to scare me off. I was like, "No, you don't scare me." Which, because I mean, as anybody that's good at what they do, fear is the thing that they feed on. So I will never give them that. I went to the house anyway, right? I sat in the kitchen, but it wasn't a shadowy figure. It was like a bizarre. Remember, Phil, what I told you, it was like almost like a bull's head with horns. I went down into that basement, and halfway down the stairs, I was nauseous. I experienced vertigo, which I never experienced. Like vertigo, like big time. Like I literally felt sick. So I asked them, "Have you had this place checked for carbon monoxide?" Things like that would throw you up. It affected me physically. It really did.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't experience shadow figures. I like I said, I see things in full form.
Yes.
But
Okay. Real quick, Phil, have you ever tried setting up trail cams or deer cameras down in your basement? That's
They did that.
Equipment that I use. That is the
deer.
best. That's the best piece of evidence to have. You get that deer cam or that trail cam, whatever you want to call them, and set it up, turn it on, and just let it go.
Sean, you know what the weirdest thing was though?
What's that?
When I left the house, like I said, I had a rental car. Get in the car, and the radio is just going out of control, like spinning.
Crazy.
That's what happened.
It was. I mean, it really was. I had my kids with me. I had my two sons with me, and like, "Mom, can you leave your friends there?" But I mean, the like radio just kept spinning. It was just it didn't leave me when I left the house.
We've had a lot of experiences where it actually has stopped people from getting here. It would get them lost. It would just
it's trying to do that with me, but
with their car trouble. I mean, you name it, it's happened.
Yeah, I have a story on that. I just bought a brand new. This was like about 5 or 6 years ago, and I bought a brand new car, and it was I forget what it was, but it was a Ford something, I forget. Just bought it. So 3 weeks after I bought this car, I'm going to an investigation, and honest to God, it was a very bad investigation. It was terrible, right? Now, I know you all know that they know you're coming a week ahead of time to the house.
Absolutely.
Right? So that day I get into my car, turn it on, and my transmission blew up on a brand new car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They'll try to stop you and try to intimidate you.
That would have oh my God. I would have been pissed. Pissed me
so
off.
what I did was I said real loud, I'm like, you ain't going to stop me from coming. So I called up one of my group members. They came pick me up. We went out. I mean, we kicked some butt. I mean, but it was like a brand new car and the transmission goes. It's just like, nah.
And it's so crazy because when, then people just don't believe this, and you tell them these stories, and it's just, okay, that's a coincidence.
I quit telling people.
You know what? People think it's a coincidence all the time.
Yeah.
I like even my family that knows I since I'm a kid.
Yeah.
Easter. I'm gonna give you guys a funny story.
Especially the Staten Island people, they don't believe nothing.
Oh boy, I'm gonna give you a Staten Island story. So my sister-in-law's uncle has like a presence that's been chasing him. And as we were also talking about with shadow people or connections, right? Connections to people, hauntings. Are they connected to people? Are they connected to things? This man went from house to house. Can't get rid of the spirit. Can't get rid of it. And I told him it was a case of mistaken identity. This is a very old spirit, but believe it or not, he's mistaking him for somebody else and he just doesn't like him. So anyway, we're sitting at dinner and so he starts talking about it and the lights just go out, blackout dark. And my brother goes, Jesus Christ, Mary, can you leave your friends home?
I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny.
It is funny.
It is.
I was trying to lighten things up, but it's true.
Funny.
That's what happened. I'm like, oops, I'm sorry.
What I usually tell people when stuff happens like that, I said, well, welcome to my world. This is
right.
Exactly.
I've had friends say that to me too. Can you just leave the ghost home, leave them home?
Leave them.
Even
Julia, when I left your house, my kid said, "Can you just leave that there?" Because the car, it was so crazy. It was just spinning and spinning. I'm like, yeah.
It's just
to the cellar in their house. Did it feel like that you were in another dimension?
You know what? Maybe, because I'm going to tell you one thing, and I swear to God, I never felt it anywhere else. It was, like I said, my equilibrium felt off, and I felt like kind of nauseous. And then when I got downstairs, I did see people from another time. I really think that they have a doorway,
a portal.
Yes, a portal where because it was people from all different times.
Yeah,
they don't have like a classic haunting, like where it's like one person.
That's the problem.
No,
okay?
That is not even their situation in the house. It is people from different times. Am I right, Julia?
Yes, and that's the problem.
I can tell by, because I can see people, I can see spirits in full form. I can tell by what they're wearing. So it's not tied to an event. I really think that their house is tied to the land, and I told you guys that, right?
Oh, no doubt.
And if we go way back, but what they have going on in the house stems from Native Americans.
Yeah, absolutely.
But see, to me, in my experience, and Phil and Julia, they're beautiful people. They don't have no negative energy.
That doesn't matter.
And no. But it
depends. Boy, if I say something, Phil might get mad at me.
No. The crazy thing about that is people actually do believe that we're bringing things on ourselves, and we haven't done anything. The only thing that we've done is open the home to maybe more investigations than we should have.
Yes, but Phil, I'm talking to you. You did invite things that a long time ago. We're not going to talk about when, but he did invite certain things. So Phil, he's had a spirit attached to him, but it has nothing to do with that house.
Sarah.
Yeah.
You know I'm right?
Yeah, you are right. You are right, because I was on Sean Kelly's show last week, and I was talking about when I lived on Staten Island, my mom's house, how I was pulled into that world of doing my own rituals. And again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was doing it was working.
When we were kids, we did it. But when you invite something in, and this goes along with the subject we're talking about, like with shadow people, they can stay with you.
Right.
Yes.
But that has nothing to do with this. But what happened back then when he was a kid doing Ouija boards and all that stuff,
I did
this
too.
house did have the house had a lot of stuff going on before we.
But I like, that's what I'm saying. I believe that film has a spirit attached to him. Absolutely. But that is separate from the house you live in.
Yes.
I mean, you have, a doorway.
It's almost like the house chose us. You
know what? It's almost like your downstairs is almost like a train station. It is.
Well, let me ask you this, Phil. Did you ever do some research on the property in which your house is at?
I asked him that too.
Yeah, we had people do an investigation on what's going on, and what we did learn was that the Iroquois Indians lost a treaty and a battle, and there was a lot of bloodshed between Forks and Delaware River way back in the day.
And I told you it was Native American.
Yes, and Chief Sullivan, who the street's named after, Sullivan Trail, was also, seen through various teams that this man he's not a good man. He's mad, actually. He's very mad. I guess that they lost the treaty or whatever, the battle. And there was a lot of bloodshed between the young Indians too, right? And then some of the pictures that we've caught and teams caught look like false face masks that the Indians would use to scare off their rivals.
Well, Phil, the first thing I saw, like again, Sean, when I went into the house, I sat in the kitchen and I said, they're going to think I'm crazy. The first thing I saw was, a human figure, a man, but wearing a buffalo hat. Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes. In my living room, yes.
Now, with that battle, that treaty, the battle they had over around in your area, could there be, or could this house, your house, be built on an Indian burial ground?
I completely believe. I don't know if it's a burial ground, but it's definitely related to Native Americans.
Julia, you were saying?
I don't know. People have said that, Sean. I've heard that. I mean, so haven't we heard? We've heard that before. That was thrown around a lot too. Yes.
Okay. I'm sure there's maybe 10 or 20 of them. Even if there was like 2 or 3 of them buried around there, you're still going to get that real crazy energy.
Sean, I'm telling you, that was like the thing that I felt most. Like I said, the first thing I saw was a buffalo hat with horns, and I told them that this haunting is tied to Earth and is absolutely Native American. But it is, but there's also something else there.
Yeah.
There's a doorway. It's not completely Native American because the spirits that I saw in the house were.
And this is what makes this haunting very bizarre, because it's
unusual.
Very unusual. There's just so much. You got a family who all has gifts. So, okay, we're an easy target. So it's like the house kind of like chooses you. My kids are all gifted. We're gifted. I mean, it's like it did choose us.
Well, it does run in the family.
Right. Phil has an attachment. You have a portal here. It's a train station. It's like it.
Well, that's what I call your house, a train station.
And
but the shadow people, again, they're intelligent. And again, there could be so many different types of shadow people. There could be like the good, the bad, and look, I don't know. I ain't no expert. I mean, for me to tell you things, I know it's real. I know it exists. I can't explain some of the stuff, but what really gets me is they're intelligent and they're way advanced.
I don't believe they're aliens. I believe they're spirits walking on a straight line. Be half of them in their world, half of them in our world. That's the way I look at it.
Well, but I also believe, but what you are in life is what you are in death. So, Phil was saying intelligence. Well, then you carry that on into the next.
But let's say let's play devil's advocate here and skepticism. Let's say these spirits are from a timeline of the 1800s or 1700s. Are we to believe that they know how to use our technology? Because that's what they have shown us.
Nah, I don't know about that.
No, I'm
But
playing. No.
The investigator was
I'm
here,
gonna say
and they're
no.
testing.
They know what they know. I mean, we can direct them to respond to our technology if you're talking about paranormal investigations.
Well, you know what, Phil?
Right.
Honestly, if you have a lot of people, going and doing, we'll say your house, all the investigations going on, and they're the intelligence spirits that are in your house are actually watching how they are doing their cameras, how they're setting up.
So they can learn.
So they can learn. Yes. But even if they lived in the 1800s, spirits were 1700s, they're watching how they are setting up their equipment and how they're using it. So I believe somebody from the 1800s would know how to use our equipment today by just
because we're teaching them.
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, they're looking, and if they want to communicate, they're going to figure out how to, right?
Exactly.
As simple as tap 1 for yes, tap 2 for no.
Right.
It's the same thing. So yeah, they're going to pick up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could mess with electronics, our cell phones.
Well, I think that's their energy that
transmission.
messes with electronics too, as we know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But look at all the energy. Look at all the energy. Yeah, coming off our cell phones. You don't need equipment. You don't need EMP machine. You know what I mean? You can.
Sean, I'm going to say something to you that I really respected about what you said, that you're old school.
Yeah.
And all you need is one thing. You're absolutely right.
What?
Like, spending all this money on technology, you don't need it. You're right. You don't.
Oh, yeah. She's saying that's what you said on the last show.
I love that you said that.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a K2 meter. Give me a digital voice recorder.
Exactly. And I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. There's just way too much money being spent on equipment these days.
I'm not getting the same response.
I'm going to tell you right now, my old techie, right? Spent close to $12,000. And
that's crazy.
And every time he would buy something new, I said, "What the hell are you doing, man?" Well, I saw this on Ghost Hunters. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you spent so much money.
Can I also say this? And I'm really not bashing what's on TV or whatever, but really,
you can say anything. Anything you can't do is curse. Just don't do that.
I won't, but I'm just gonna say, really.
Wait, what did you say? He's like, we're allowed to curse.
We're allowed to curse.
We're allowed to curse.
On ROKU.
So I'm gonna kill you.
All right, so I'll just say,
no cursing.
You should be really impressed that I'm from Staten Island and have not cursed.
Well, that's why. Sean's like, we can curse.
No, but really, I mean, what evidence are they actually getting? The best evidence I've ever had is just with a voice recorder.
Yeah, I know. And my question, Sean, my question is to you: did these people, your teammates, the equipment that they bought, did they get great use out of it?
No.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, they didn't.
What's the point?
He spent close to $3,000 on this camera setup. Had all kinds of the different lights that they use, and I mean, he was pushing, looking for faces in the mirrors, and I'm saying, dude, you're matrixing it. You can pick out anything you want. Did you show Mary my photo that I sent you guys?
No, I don't.
Well, you could.
But Sean, we're talking about cursing too. Yeah. When I went to Julia and Phil's house, all I had was what? A voice recorder?
Yeah.
When I left there was some very foul language that I caught.
That's okay. I have too, but I don't know. I have a potty mouth sometimes on my shows, so I do cuss. So I don't get yelled at, and I got the greatest excuse in the world. We're on Roku, so we're to say whatever we're allowed to say.
Oh, you're allowed to curse on Roku?
Yeah,
But here's what we all have in common. All four of us. We know that ghosts exist.
yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Absolutely.
And we also know, I have to say that one time I was driving home from work years ago in a massive snowstorm. I didn't think I was going to make it home. And I got to be honest with you, call me crazy, but I was calling the name of the attachment as like, get me home. And I don't know how I made it home, but I did. I believe that spirits also listen in time of certain need that we have, where they do listen and help us also. It's not just about, well, we're investigating, we're going to get a picture or a voice or a threat.
Oh, no, that's absolutely
Sometimes
true.
they're protective against us. Like, Mary, do you ever go somewhere and feel like you're protected by
Well,
them?
you know what? I recently had this conversation with somebody. I feel that in times of need, especially if we're sick or in a bad situation, like for instance, my parents have been gone a long time. When I was ill, like almost close to death, they're standing next to me.
Mhm.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
oh, absolutely. I'm absolutely. When things are at your worst, they are standing next to you. So that is absolutely true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely agree with
I
that.
believe that
Yeah.
with my whole heart because I've seen it myself.
hmm
And I was told, oh, you have high fever, you were hallucinating. Bullshit. Your parents are
agree.
always your parents.
Laughing. See, that's
No,
your
it's
fault,
true.
Dawn. That's why I said she can't curse, because I know that then she won't stop.
No, but I
No,
agree
but
with
it's true.
Mary. They do watch you, and I gotta say that I've been protected many a times by Sarah. Now again, some people call her the devil, some people call her an innocent girl. The people who have the Annabelle doll said it's a legion of demons. But I
Oh,
gotta be honest
God.
with you, she's gotten me home. She's
Legion of
You know,
protected
Demons.
me
and
in different
my
ways.
question, and that brings
So
me to
look,
the
I'm
question.
no expert. I don't believe there is an expert, and I don't believe. The more I get into paranormal and investigating, and again, I do not disrespect religion, but it kind of pushes religion aside because a lot of the stuff we're taught through religion and cultures is a lie. And that's just my opinion,
Absolutely.
but a lot of stuff it seems to be untrue, like the beginning of time and all this stuff. And now we know that we can communicate with the other side. We can get answers that are not coincidence based off our thoughts. So we do know that there is another existence of us, a branch off of us, right? And religion does
Yeah.
not teach that. And we're also
Nah.
protected not only by some people say they're guardian angels. Well, you know what? These could be as well as the shadow people protecting us as well, and we just don't get it.
You
Exactly.
know,
Oh,
and that brings me to a question. Can evil, you guys kind of answered it, but can bad spirits, evil spirits,
But listen, that's a very thin line.
you?
can they
Could
what?
they protect you if they wanted to? Could you
Do
think
you
they
know why
could?
it's a thin line? Because it's a thin line because it could be an evil spirit trying to tell you there's somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to know the difference.
Yes.
And how I feel. Oh, but before I go on, Mary Dame says hi, guys. I don't
Yeah.
know Mary.
Yep. And
I,
you know, Mary Dame, we were thinking about you today. Mary Dame is in chat, and Nick is in chat too. So hello and thank you for joining us.
Okay, just wanted, but to me, and it just my gift. Okay, my empathic gift or something. I can literally, because I did a lot of things with this on my porch in the summertime a long time ago, is I would close my eyes and I would see spirits on my porch, right? And then all of a sudden I would look from them just being like angels, and all of a sudden their wings would appear as devils.
Huh. Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was crazy. Can I share a quick story with you?
Yes,
Of
of
course.
course.
Okay. I know we don't have that much time, but one time when I really got into metaphysical and talking to spirits and stuff like that, I had an ego. And I just cleared out this person's house, and man, my ego was so sky high. I said, and I said, quote unquote, I said, you know what? I am so good. I think I could take on Satan. All right. I did say that.
Oh.
God allowed it. Okay. For 3 days. 3 days. I couldn't move. I was sick.
Oh my.
Did not take care of myself. Did not eat. Did not go to work. And I'm thinking, okay. And this is a true story. I don't tell this much. But after the 3rd day, Satan got up and he was leaving. And he turned around and he looked at me and he says, if you ever want to go through this again, call me. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And then he turned around and he said to me, quote unquote, he goes, I admire you, Sean. I'm like, well, whoa, what the hell's going on? And this is true. Honest to God, this is true. He goes, I admire you. And I said, why? And he said, you never backed down from me. You kept fighting me. You kept fighting me, even though he was kicking my butt. And I'm being totally honest with this on your show here. I mean, I would not tell the whole world about this, but he turned around and he said, you know, you fought me tooth and nail, and you never gave up. And so that kind of really started me to get, I suffered a lot of humility, a lot of humbleness on that. And that's when I started to go the correct way. And I started to do investigations with more humility, with more humbleness, because that's what you need. You know what I mean? So I wanted to share that.
Yeah, and also it's like, yeah, it's like a learning process too. I mean, how long ago did that happen?
Oh shit. I would have to say 1999.
Yeah, so I mean,
Did Mary freeze? Did Mary freeze?
Uh-oh. Looks she
Mary,
sure
you there?
did. He knew it because he was like, wow, she's really quiet.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at them eyes and I'm thinking, oh my God, she's reading me.
Yeah, I don't know how to drop her down. Let me see.
But back to your question, Julia.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to try to. Okay. If she comes back up, I'll put her back up. Oh my God, I forgot my question. How, it makes us learn, to not say certain things. And that, I feel like that was probably a learning thing for you. And
yeah, it was.
That was actually something that I had written down. What is a paranormal spirit attachment? Like, how does it happen? I have had that written down, and you kind of like just brought it up.
They just come, but I kind of make sure that they leave. I don't take them home. I don't bring nothing home with me. In fact, my bedroom is a ghost-free room. It's true. They can haunt the rest of the house. Okay. Yes, they can haunt the rest of the house, but my room is a ghost-free room. No ghosts aren't allowed to come in. I get mad. They do.
Okay. I want to jump in. I have to jump in. Mary, you're back. You can see us and hear us, right? Because you froze and then. But so you said your room is a ghost-free room. Now I want to play where the skeptics would ask me, okay? And I'm going to ask you, right? Because look, I play both sides of the table here. This is what we do. This is how we learn. Why would a spirit or a ghost, however we want to label it, listen to you or me and care what you say? Is it your intent is strong enough to keep that spirit or ghost away from your bedroom? Is it psychosomatic?
Absolutely.
Which one do we
No.
say?
Your intent
Wait, go ahead.
is very important. If you have a spirit that you need, you have to set your intent and you have to take control of the situation.
With me, I put up a barrier, Philip. Okay. I put the energy field around my room. And it's like, no, you cannot come into my room. Because one did, man, and it wouldn't let me sleep. You know, kept me up 2 nights in a row. I'm like, dude, you got to go. And so I took care of business and did what I had to do. But ever since that, it's really crazy. You go into my bedroom, right, and beautiful energy. I mean, you can breathe in the whole 9 yards. But once the house is active, okay, you walk out of my bedroom and into the hall, you can't breathe. You cannot breathe.
Yeah, but you have to take control of your home.
Of course I did.
And when I had issues, I had to put salt in front of my door around my bed.
Yeah, but Mary, think about it, right? Yeah, salt's great. It's a good deal.
But I also had to demand them to leave.
But sometimes you forget that you have to sweep up the salt.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you have to take control of your home and be in control.
You know, if I
don't control you, you control them.
If I went outside and I put salt all around my house, okay, and I did all of these things that you're saying, I could do them. My gift is very strong. I tell you right now, it ain't gonna work.
No, that's a temporary solution.
Wait, what?
That is a temporary solution. Like what I was saying about the salt and all that.
Right.
But what you ultimately have to do is say, this is my home. Yeah. You need to leave.
Right. And I do believe what you say, because I do have an office that honestly I think is like the calmest and the calmest room in the house. And sometimes I don't let anybody even in there at all. Phil knows. But I do feel that it's the peaceful room of the house, and it's because of the things that I do in there.
Your energy.
Right. So I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
So then what we're saying is there's a part of our consciousness that has control to some extent over our surroundings of other energies. That's what we're saying.
Yes, exactly, Phil. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with people like us that do have that and have the ability to do that, okay, that's why we know what's going on when you walk into a room, and you know what that person's thinking, and you know how that person is feeling, and you know how that person is feeling. You know where to stay from, go from. You know, not everybody has that, Phil. Yeah. My theory is behind that is, you know, I had a traumatic situation happen to me to where I actually died, okay, back in 1983. That's for another show. But when I came back, okay, I could see things, hear things, and feel things that weren't there. And so from what was explained to me, and maybe Mary can, you know, put her.
Oh yeah, I can totally relate to
but,
that.
What happened?
Because I always had the ability since I was a child.
Right.
But I only heard.
But
then I got into a bad car accident. Mm-hmm. And then I could see full blown people. Yeah.
Now,
so then I thought, I was like, oh my God, I'm schizophrenic. I got an aneurysm. But yeah, I do relate to that for that reason.
Okay. Now, what happened to me was my old spirit jumped out and a new one popped in. Okay. And I was told they were called walk-ins when your old one moves out and another one pops in. And then here's the crazy part. I was 21 years old when that happened to me. Okay. there was time, a long, long time that I don't remember growing up and all the activities I did. Okay. I just completely forgot from 21 down to when I was a young kid. But at 21 and moving on, I remember a lot. But as my childhood, I could not. It was a big blank.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Because when my old spirit that I was born with, okay, went through my childhood and then it left there. And then
So you think it's like a reincarnation thing?
I would have to say that. But a new spirit came in, and not only could I not remember my childhood, but all of a sudden, man, it was like I was reading people's minds. I was reading people's energies, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Okay,
Really
so
was,
I'm gonna ask something. Did you have a traumatic event?
what's that?
Say that again.
Did you have a traumatic event before that happened?
No, it was. Oh yeah, I died because I drank a fifth of Jack Daniels on Antabuse, and I died. Okay. Now, when I died, people say, "Oh, I see the light." Not me, buddy. I saw dark.
Okay.
Phil, seriously, I saw dark.
So you had a near-death experience.
Oh, I guess if you want to call it. They told me I died on the table, dude. I mean, so I don't. It was creepy, but when I came back, like I said, I started to see things, hear things, and feel things that weren't there.
Interesting. You know, this is we hear this all the time too. When these things happen, when you die and you come back, and you come back with all these gifts,
Yeah.
and it's crazy, very overwhelming. But it happens.
Do you all just want to tell the spirits, shut up, go away?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I had to do that for a while.
Oh,
like I was saying, after I had that head injury.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
I thought I was going crazy, and I actually left a voice recorder next to my bed at night. So I didn't think it was all in my head.
Yeah.
But I learned how to say "go away," not now. Because you have to. If you don't learn how to set boundaries, you'll go crazy.
Yeah, you do have to set. Yes, absolutely. That story that you have is, Phil. That's amazing. That you should actually write a book about that. That's one I've never heard of that ever. So what do you make out of that?
It's interesting. I want to backtrack a little bit to what we're talking about. We're talking about intent, how Sean said that he can keep the spirits out of his room. And we're talking about intent. And then again, I play two sides of the fence. I play the skeptic and I play the believer. And a skeptic is going to message me after this show, as they always do, and say, well, if Sean has that ability, then does that mean a person who has disabilities, who doesn't know any better, can they be susceptible to being attacked by the other side without protecting themselves?
Yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
Phil.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I think anybody can be.
Or is it possible, just possible, that people that are born with disabilities that cannot protect themselves are protected by the upper realms of spirits?
Yes, and that too. Look at all your children that have autism, who have all kinds of different things happening with them. They are truly blessed. They are so loved. They are so protected. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my God, yeah. The angels look down on them. They sure do, and they take care of them.
Very interesting.
I think when you lose something, you gain something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so true.
Absolutely. Why don't you have a 2-hour show? I enjoy your show. Really
but people like us
fascinating
that have spiritual gifts, We have to learn how to control them.
Yeah. And you're still learning. I'm still learning. I mean,
we all are.
It's all a big, huge learning experience. That's for sure.
But the thing is, what you learn, okay, as long as you keep humble about it, it's going to be okay. It will get better. But once you put that ego in there, you're done. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. That is
the problem with a lot of the paranormal, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it's another show too.
I have no ego. I think we always learn from each other.
Yes.
And every day we're learning.
I learned about Staten Island tonight, so.
Because you two are. Say that again. Say it again.
Staten Island.
Staten.
My friend.
SINY.
Staten Island. What?
Say that again. What'd you say?
What was that? Yeah,
I said SINY.
SINY.
But no, I learned a lot of stuff tonight. Every one of y'all are beautiful people and have beautiful energy.
Thank you. You just don't ever want to. I mean, you just don't ever go there. Have you ever been there?
Don't go to Staten Island.
No, too much traffic.
But that's on native land. That's the root of us, Joel. You know what's interesting is, again, paranormal. It's so wide, and there's so much to learn. And I can tell the world, like Mary's story and Sean's experience, that I have communicated with people that have crossed over that I knew, that I only knew certain answers that would come back that they would know. So the truth is, sometimes I think, are we the shadows casted upon another realm, and we don't know because we look at the reflection of light that we don't see. And it brings me back to one of my favorite movies. Julie, you know the movie, when Nicole Kidman is the Others.
I love that movie.
I always say that. Are we the others?
That's very possible. You're right, Julia.
It is very possible.
Yes.
But that's something they didn't know they were dead.
Yes. Absolutely. Do you imagine? Well, guys, the hour again has gone by very fast. It is.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yes.
Thank you to the both of you for coming on and filling in today for us. And we had a great show.
You're welcome.
Yes, we did. We had a good show. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A special thank you to Carnation for fully sponsoring this show from day one. Please join us next Monday night on the United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM and 107.7 FM from New Orleans. So thank you guys. Thanks for coming on. And everybody have a great night. Lena just popped up in chat. Thank you, Lena. Good night. Bye, guys.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.